need the hole, steady in the trunk. Put your phone down, let's get over the front. I got my eyes on the row in the front. The vibe is high, feet beat blunt. The vibe is high, like the builder. Big clear from everywhere to Korea. 총칼기보다 좀 길어. 흰색은 짧은 중간은 비워. It's bigger in real life. 맞추면 따져 내려나게 하지 마. I've been 좀 더 가까이 와서 skin to skin.
I need somebody to body all of your body beside me. 따뜻하게 손에 손 너와 나 we on and on. Yeah, sunrise but we don't go home. Somebody like you, eh? Somebody like you, oh. Somebody like you, eh? Somebody like you, somebody like, everybody like you.
It's so tight. I mean, no one side. I mean, 우리만의 그 style. I mean, we're living the life. 두 눈을 감지 않은 내 밤. 솟구치는 결의 맘. Be a body, be a body, be a body.
Are you guys, hello, welcome. Welcome to my first K-Talk in forever. I don't know if I did one earlier this year. I am Jeannie Chang. Where are you guys dialing in from? Hello, Hawaii. That is on my list. I have to go to Hawaii. Lots of people there. And then my husband's here. Florida. Who else? Kauai. Okay, yay. Some people from San Diego. I see Canada. Iowa. Just about awake in the UK. Hello, Vera. Thinking about you because I saw a lot of the tour peeps. Vancouver, yay. So it is 7 o'clock East Coast time, but I was about to say 8 a.m. because I'm thinking Korea time. And welcome. So post-BTS concert grief. And you're making BTS freebies. So that is my goal, actually. Because I just had photo cards and I gave them away at like my first couple events. So I didn't even have, I think I had a couple for the concert. So Southern Illinois, Texas, New Jersey. So I'm going to try to be creative and make some freebies for the next concert I go to, which is August, hence the grief. Anyways, we'll talk a little bit about what that looks like. But I have some updates. So it's been so long. Hello from Jersey, Southern Illinois, my old stomping ground. I went to college at NYU. So I have a lot of Jersey friends and then Long Island friends. I am so excited to be here. There's lots to talk about. Obviously, I want to process live with you. I think that's just better because it's what I do, right? You process live in sessions and workshops. And so I thought it'd be better since we're fresh from Vegas, or some of us are. I am. You're making freebies. Tell me what you're making. Too bad you can't upload photos. You're going to have to show it to me so I can get ideas. Updates on my end. So let me just share a little bit of what's going on with me. When people ask me, are you going home? It's really complicated. Home is where the heart is. Yeah. But right now my heart's like split. So we moved actually when we were in Korea. We did it very, very different. From our home of 20 years to a new place, or actually moved back to where we came from, if that makes sense. But it's been a while since we've been here. By the way, this is my new office. What do you think? It's my new office. I put some K-drama stuff up there. That turtle has to go up somewhere. There's a frame right there, the K-drama. You can't see it with the logo, but I do love my new office. I've spent a lot of time here, so I had to, everyone's saying, freebies feel laborious. Well, that's probably why I kind of don't do them, because I'm not very crafty, so I just do photo cards. But we're in the middle of a transition, and then home is also in Seoul, Korea. So that's why it's complicated. But I guess when I say I'm going home for now in the summer, it's USA. So we're actually spending the summer in the USA for family first, and then BTS. I could have said BTS first. Family first, and then BTS, because we have some milestones like a college graduation, wedding prep, lots of wedding prep, and then concerts. And it just made sense. And then some events on my end to speak at. And then we'll be heading back to Korea for the fall tours. So that's kind of my update. So I'm going through this, and actually I'm going through grief, not just in the BTS way, or not just, reunions and tours and all that stuff, because that's actually part of what I'll talk about, but also my own stage of life. So you're kind of feeling my grief if I don't know how to answer where home is, because even then I'm like, oh, I like the way we did this in Seoul, or, like, it's just weird. I'm living basically on 2 different countries and continents, and that is the reality of our life. So I think I'm adjusting, and so that's me. Now, I'm in between tours. So we still have a chunk of our tours left. We have one in June. It's the collab. I will not be there because I have a son graduating, so I'm going to miss Festa. Yeah, that was actually my first thought. Oh, we're going to miss Festa, but I have a son graduating. I'm just kidding, but not really, because that was a thought. But we have a kid graduating. That's very important. We will not be in Korea for June, but we will in the fall. And we have 2 September tours, 2 October tours. This is a QR code if you want to know more about our tours. I want to say we're going to close off the early September one soon, but there's still space. Yes, so join me if you want. And of course, we have 2027 tours. So people are already asking about 2027. I'm glad you're very eager about 2027. That'll come out this summer, which is basically like in a couple weeks, but probably toward the latter half of June, and you will get email. So make sure you subscribe to our mail. What is that called? Mailing list. Yes. Houston, yay, moving, graduation, weddings. Thank you. It's a lot. Congrats. I know I should accept the congrats. And then you're joining me in October. So you guys will know if you've gone on tour with me, that I am really present for my tours. So I absolutely love being on tour. So that's the other grief. And then everyone's saying, oh, after tour, I'm feeling this grief. Yeah, I feel it too, actually, totally. So there was a lot of emotions. And then I'm in a whirlwind of what time zone. I don't even know what to. The other day I actually went, yes, it is 4:00 Eastern. And they're like, yeah, we know we're on the East Coast. And I went, oh my gosh, I'm so used to saying Eastern or Korea time or Pacific. That's just my life. Yay, October 26th. October is beautiful time, 2027. Yep. And that is the update there. Now, thank you. Thank you, Rachna. Can you put that back up, the Jung Journal? We have a QR code for our newsletter. So we are relaunching the newsletter because we have lots of news. I realize I can't keep up on social media and so much overload going on that I'd like to keep you guys posted online via the best word is a newsletter, but we call it the Jung Journal. Everything's about Jung here. So feel free to subscribe to that. You're not going to get spammed because I like to send out things sparingly, but probably bi-weekly. Sorry, bi-weekly. So twice a month. You'll get some news, events, and we have launched chapters. That's the best way to actually put it. Chapters in different cities. We already launched Tampa. Is anybody here from Tampa? Were you at the Tampa launch? So we did that around BTS because it made sense. And then Los Angeles is next. So I will be in Los Angeles Irvine, because my son's graduating. And since I'm there, we're doing a chapter launch at that time. So feel free to join. And it will be to view the Busan screening and then have dinner, and then, and I will be in California for that. And then also upcoming Boston and Chicago. So stay tuned. So excited. And let me share why we decided to do that. That was actually a couple years in the making. And it's around BTS just for this particular year because it made sense. Everybody in town or people flying in, and I'm also flying into different cities. But really, it's to continue that Jung in the USA for now. Would love to expand to the UK. And then, of course, I've heard from people in Australia, New Zealand. Yes, that's coming, but not everybody can make it to South Korea like every year, right? And so what we create on the tours, we want to continue that post-tour because I do see a lot of people wanting that. I myself want it as well. So I think that's what that is what the chapters are about. So we'll try them. We'll be kind of doing them around cultural events, provide you cultural resources, that community, the camaraderie, the building of friendships, all of that is at the core, but around certain things. So I like them to be, just because I'm an organized person, I don't want us to just to be happenstance. You can all meet up happenstance offline and, off events, but during our chapter events, I want them, around a meal or around an event and kind of facilitating as much as possible by the chapter coordinators, not necessarily by me. And I can't be at all of them, obviously, because I'm in Korea half the time, but as much as I can, I'll be there. So that's chapter. Yes, Boston's coming. Oh, Sunrise Dance Partner. Ugh, that's living the memories. Yes. Oh, sorry. Okay, so sorry. And New York and New Jersey launching that chapter. My bad. That is coming. And actually, if someone from Seattle's on here, Seattle too. Isn't that cool? We got some people to just help with that. We're super excited. Festa 2027. Yes, I don't have a kid graduating in Festa 2027. So yay. Okay, so that's the updates for me. Now, why are we all here? Well, let's talk about. So listen, K-drama deep dive. My bad. This is why I have a producer. Yeah, K-drama deep dive. Let me talk about the K-dramas I've watched and been watching. We are all trying here. So, the writer of this drama wrote My Mister, another Miss O, My Liberation Notes, and one more. But those are among my favorites, especially My Mister, My Liberation Notes. And no surprise that she wrote this one. Now, it's not for everybody. Just because I have a favorite doesn't mean it's going to be your favorite. But wow, very rich. The acting is really phenomenal, kind of like My Mister in that sense. Similar vibes, but very different story and premise. This particular one actually felt a little more raw, a little bit more jarring in the acting and going, oh, can he catch a break? When you watch something, you're like, oh my gosh, he's just down and out. So such beautiful acting, but you keep watching. Now, people have told me it's really heavy. They're not in the mood for it, and that's fine. I can see why. Did you know that it took me like 3 years to watch My Mister? So I watched it late. It came out in 2018. I think I watched it in like 2021. This particular one, I waited till maybe it was almost done, and then I heard from everybody, especially you guys who know me, Jeannie, you must watch if you love My Mister. And I was like, you're right. And I was on tour, so I started. And like I do recommend it. Why? Because we need to see you want to see real life, some sense people not being able to they don't have this break in life. Things are just not going for them. That's kind of like real life too, right? Maybe you feel that about yourself. But then you keep watching because you're hoping that this person catches a break or the female lead doesn't feel this way, like abandoned, and so she has. That's why I analyze their characters based on family system roles, because that's my lens. So I did a deep dive on that. But if you have time to watch, and if you can, I highly recommend. You don't have to binge it because it's heavy. But wow, by the last 2 episodes, this is what I mean by transformation. You see it, you feel it. And this is one of the dramas where ending was well done. Some endings you're just like, what just happened? Like, I can't think of, what just happened. Like it went awry or it went like south or it took a weird fork in the road. This particular one stayed on track, which I predicted it would based on her writing, and just left very hopeful, but also very happy. Just there was a spoiler for you. So I recommend, I think that the last particular episode was phenomenal. That's my opinion. So I'd highly recommend it. Yes, Seattle. That might be you, by the way. I think I put you down as leading it. I think if I knew who you are. But so we are all trying here. Okay, next one. There's a couple that I want to recommend. Reborn Rookie. I do want to recommend that to you. I just started it yesterday because guess what? It's directed by a good friend of mine. I'm super proud of her. Those people on my tours, she has been a staple guest speaker. And this is her first main directing gig. So proud of her. So I'm promoting it because I believe in her work. She did The Frog before as well, but I'm talking her gig, and I'm soon going to get her on a YouTube Live. So watch it. The second episode already came out. It's on Viki, by the way. And I would say it's more of the typical K-drama feel with a little bit of mystery, and the revenge theme. Yeah. But also I believe like a romance, right? You see all that coming, family, chebol, all that stuff. It's there. Reborn Rookie. The Wonderfuls. Almost done. Okay, thank you, CJM. Yeah, I have y'all down. Okay. I do recommend it. It's quirky and it's a lot of fun. It's actually, I think you would think it's a comedy, maybe a black comedy. It's a little bit dark at times where you're like, whoa, like I literally went, whoa, didn't expect that. And then you're cracking up, laughing like crazy. And so it's kind of neat seeing those emotions of like, ooh, like you'll see my face going, that's a little more blood than I wanted to see. not gory, just a little something there. And then you have the comedy and you're cracking up, slapstick laughing. The acting is also phenomenal. So I do recommend The Wonderfuls. I think it's just a nice binge. So when I say binge, I think like, you could binge like 3-4 episodes at a time. And then, so I'm almost done that. Bonjour Bakery. I do recommend it. Now, don't watch it when you're hungry, 'cause I have a sweet tooth. It's a reality show, variety show on Viki as well. I'm watching it because Kim Sono is in it. Mhm. And then, who else is in it? I'm drawing a blank. Choi Seung-won is in it. They're baking for those over 65 plus. And so, well, yeah, Kim Sun-ho, that's no brainer. He's one of my top biases. So, and what I really like is Cha Seung-won is learning how to bake. So he's actually doing it with another K-drama actor, an actor who's younger, more rookie, and then I'm drawing a blank with all the names. I just know Kim Sun-ho and Cha Seung-won. But I'm only on episode 3 for that one. So, but still, I recommend it because it's a fun watch. I have it on, but again, do not watch it when you're hungry. And they're targeting the aging population, which is super cool to see these shows like The Village Barber, Bonjour Bakery, really highlighting that demographic that doesn't necessarily get recognized. So it's really great that they do that. Yeah. That cream puff episode. Yeah. But also that, the barley thing that they're making. Yeah. And by the way, The Village Barber, if you watched it, it's going to be on our tours in the fall. So we will be going there. Yeah, I just gave that little reveal there. So I highly recommend you watch that if you like Park Bo-gum and all that. Yeah, Lee Sang-hee. Oh yeah, Chae-seok's B&B Rules. So I actually haven't started this, but I wanted to recommend it because Pyeong-seok's in it. Yeah, it's a variety show. I think it looks quirky. Yoo Chae-seok is a really famous comedian. You don't, he does Yuka's on the Block. He pretty much is every moderating show out there. And so he's really popular. So whatever he does is really popular. So I totally recommend that you watch anything that he does. So I'm really excited because I just saw Pyeong-seok is on there. So I was like, highly recommend that one. Okay, so those are the 4 that are on my current watch list that I recommend. Let me know if you have other recommendations. There's more coming, but that's on my list. Anybody going to give recommendations? Hometown Cha-Cha, of course, I think I've seen at this point Hometown Cha-Cha like 15 times. Yeah. Yes, you're in the UK, Allison. And so there is some other people too. Dialing in. Where are you dialing in from? Put it in so I know. And then, is it funny? They seem like it's funny because Chae-seok is a funny person, they're dying from overwork. That's another thing about these variety shows. You see the celebrities actually really working. Yeah. And so I think that's very unique. And that tells you a little bit about the culture that they do that. They get their hands dirty and they're doing stuff and really interacting with, Royal Nemesis. Oh my goodness. I forgot to add that on there. Yeah. So I'm about halfway done that too. Yes, that's super good too. The acting is also really good. And why am I drawing a blank on the lead guy? I like his character, actually. I really like his character in this. So highly recommend that one. Sorry, I put that to the wayside because I got distracted. I got distracted by The Wonderfuls. Okay, now let's go to why I want to talk about and do a live. Post-BTS Grief. Ready or Not, Texas on Netflix. Oh, is that good? Okay, gotcha. Love Filing. I know. I've heard that was good too. There's a lot of good ones. Gosh, my English. Okay. I put the questions up here because I asked you guys questions today. I didn't have time. We didn't have time to put it up on the YouTube. So let me go through them here. Sold Out on You. I paused, not because I didn't like it, but because I was on episode 2 or 3 and I got distracted. So that's also there. If I pause, it means didn't quite grab my attention, but not bad. Just didn't quite grab it and I chose other things. Legend of the Kitchen. Oh my goodness. I don't know if people have time. Oh, Can This Love Be Translated? That's an awesome show. 2 K variety shows I really enjoyed. Unplanned Trip, limited edition on Viki. I heard about that one. Ed and Ryu. Oh yeah, I saw that one in Korea. The Mad About Seafood in Netflix Korea. It's really good. Really good. If you like seafood, you'll be salivating. Okay, now let's go through your questions first before I talk about post-BTS concert grief. Actually, it pertains to the first one. Here's the first one I got. When PCD hits, is it a form of grief or sadness? PCD, post-concert depression. The reason why this is called post-concert grief, post-BTS concert grief, is because I do not use the word post-concert depression. There's my mic drop. because I am a licensed therapist. So I take those words seriously. You can definitely feel depressed post BTS concert. I'll give you an example. I shared at my lunch. Who was at my lunch on Thursday at Vegas? Yeah. Well, I had a major emotional crash myself while in Vegas. I think it was like a Tuesday night or something, like a major dip. And I went, oh my gosh, I haven't felt this in a while. But it was also me. Remember, I told you I'm going through a lot of grief with family and all this stuff, all these life transitions, hence the word grief. That I was like, this is like hard. So I went to day one. I had VIP sound check. It was awesome. It was 105 degrees, by the way. And then I went to day two. Wonderful. That was it. But I was in town for events and just kind of chilling and doing some other things. So I was like, and I don't need to go to 3 and 4, or so I said. So what I'm saying is, through your post BTS concert grief, I'm not saying you buy more tickets. That could happen out of your emotions, which I found myself getting there. But I was already in town. Here's my reasoning. And it's not to defend, it's explaining. I was already in town. I was going to be in town. I didn't do Wednesday night, day 3, just because I wanted to rest. But then I thought last day, if there is a ticket available. Now, I will be honest with you. I haven't bought things on a third party. I know what's that third party thing called? StubHub. I know what it is, but maybe it's I don't know. Like, I don't know if it's the Korean in me. I don't do things third party. So people are like, it's on StubHub. I go, I prefer not to buy a ticket on StubHub yet. But all you do is you ask your community. So I asked some people, anybody have a leftover ticket, like day 4? Anybody? Well, guess what? Someone did. They got a better seat. They're like, I do. And I was like, oh, is it like in the 400s, like way up? I told people I'm a little snobby. I'm already short, so I got to be able to, and my eyes are not getting any better. So I want to be kind of close. And I understand that takes some finances to do that. But I was like, what's the seat? They were like in the 100s. And I was like, interesting. How much, right? She sold it to me for obviously a fraction of the cost as a friend. And I took it. And that's why I went to day 4. Now, I did that out of my post-concert grief, so that's just me being very real, but I reasoned it. But I'm saying that to you because that might happen. But again, you have to balance your finances. So I'm giving you my personal story of how I went to day 4, but I realized it was the last day. I was already in town. I wasn't leaving until the next day. So I chose to do it, and it was great. I went by myself. I mean, I got there by myself, but you're not by yourself. Hello. And I think I came back with 50 more freebies. I was like, I'm sorry. I gave out photo cards the first day. I don't have any, but they were like, no, here's some freebies. These are glamorous freebies, by the way, at Vegas. If you're in Vegas, these are like, I don't know. They're like advanced level. So I was like, so thankful. I sat next to a friend's daughter. So that person there, but you're not alone. You're at a concert and you're basically in your own world too, right? Except when everybody's jumping and stuff like that with you. But then I ran into all you guys in my community. I'm walking down to the bathroom, Nuna Zunchi, right? So thank you for saying hello. I want to say this live. If I saw you say hi, then I thought, that's why I took it personally going, am I unapproachable? I really hope not. Please do say hi. I love it. Hello, extrovert. So I don't care if you're stopping me in the bathroom line, which people did not stop me. We were in line talking. I love it. If you're stopping me walking up the stairs to the concert, you guys did that too. I love it. Doesn't matter, so thank you. So you don't go alone to the concert, even if you get there, you're not alone. I knew that because my husband's like, but you kind of don't like being alone. He knows me. I'm an extrovert, right? I'm like, hello, I'm about to go into a BTS concert. That's so not alone. So that's what I did in my grief. I did do that. And then I shared about that grief to people at my Thursday event. So there's tip 1, sharing it. So let me be clear. PCD, I kind of don't like that term. I think it's because, unfortunately, you're getting a therapist perspective. I actually diagnose true depression, where I ask about symptoms and they last a certain amount of time. So you can definitely feel depressed. Hence that dip I had. I think it was like a day and a half. I was like this, until I got that ticket. No, until I saw some people and got out there a little bit, did some errands, told hubby about it. I was like, yeah, look at me. I'm not doing well right now. But that's grief. Depression is a specific diagnosis. And so I do take depression seriously. It's probably the number 1 thing I diagnose. So I don't want us to necessarily use that word. We can say, I feel depressed, or I am totally depressed. I use that word a lot. I'm depressed. Is how I'm feeling. But that's an emotion, right? Depression is actually a clinical diagnosis, a condition, a disorder, right? And so I'm cautious. I see that all over social media and I just am like, whatever. I'm also one of those that I don't take it that seriously as long as it's not coming from me. But I wanted to be clear. What you're experiencing is post BTS, because we're talking about BTS, or in any concert. Because I know folks who like went to ATs and Stray Kids and Blackpink and they felt that, right? Post any concert, K-pop, any concert experience, tour, post experience, grief. It is the loss of something you or someone you love, something, someone meaningful to you. That is grief. It is a loss. So I'm grieving the loss of a house of 20 plus years, the loss of the city I knew, and then the loss of a city I now know, but not very well because it's been like 20 years since we've been, you know what I mean? Grief of going between, coasts. So I'm grieving in my own way. So grief is the loss of anything and something meaningful. That's the difference. So I hope I made that clear. So you're not going to ever see me say PCD. So that like basically every question is PCD. So hopefully that's number one. So sadness, yes, you can feel sadness. You can feel depressed. You can even feel let me answer this. FOMO. Yeah, if you didn't feel FOMO, I'd be like, what's wrong with you? I think actually that declined and she was like a little offended. No, I'm pretty blunt in session, but I said, of course you feel FOMO. It's because you want to do this. So I feel FOMO all the time. I think that's okay to admit that, of course, because you want to go or you want to be part of it. Or even if you actually went to already 10 concerts, have there been 10 concerts? Maybe not quite. And you want to go to more. I think that's normal because it means a lot to you, right? It's just, this is where, all right, I'm just gonna have to be a little clinical here. When I have to diagnose something, this is where boundaries is. If you are not functioning appropriately in your day-to-day. So that's how you would diagnose something. If it is hampering your daily life. Now people are like, oh, Jeannie, it's hampering my daily life. I'm depressed. I'm sad. That's a little different. You can feel those emotions. I mean, you're not able to work. It's hampering your relationships in person. Remember, you still have your life to live. Then I would say and here's the question, is it even healthy? That was one of the questions. Yes, definitely it's healthy to go to any concert, any tour, anything you can and are able to make work, afford financially, have the means, do it. Yes. And that's why, and I 100% say that. It only gets unhealthy when you start asking me that question. Do you know that? If you're actually asking me, is this getting unhealthy? I'm feeling like this may be too much, then guess what? It is too much. I always say you're the best judgment. Yeah. And I actually feel like I really need you to understand that is it even unhealthy? If you ask me that question, I'd like you to turn it to yourself. Am I being unhealthy? Am I being healthy? Right? So that's one of the things that I really am good at myself because I'm like, why am I pissed off? Because that's what I do. So I do ask myself that, why am I feeling this way? Oh, I think I need to go to day 4. I mean, so that was just me practically speaking because I was in town. Now, I'll be honest with you. If I was not in town, I'd be honest. I'd be like, I'm able to kind of compartmentalize and then be like, I'm not there. I have FOMO, but here's what I'm looking forward to. That's another important thing to get through grief. Now, we're talking about grief in this sense, very different than a loss of a loved one, right? Very different. Grief does not have a correct way a correct way it should look or present itself. No. You'll find that if someone's like, why are you not sad? And then the person's like, I am sad. They show it very differently, right? So how you present your sadness or emotions, I think it's still sad, but there's we're all different people. So I show my sadness in a different way than somebody else might. Some people might be crying. I actually may be crying inside, so it's a really different reaction. FOMO cures with D2 tickets. I want to go to SoFi. I want to read this. You want to relive the feeling? A sadness. Yeah, okay, but do not confuse sadness with depression. Definitely you're going to feel sad. I feel sad. I also feel slightly depressed, but actually that's also with everything. But You don't see me wallowing in that. And it's not because people go, oh, because you're a therapist. I go, no, I'm actually very human, but I work to work through that. I work hard to work through it. So that would be one of the takeaways. I think someone asked me what to do. You look for the next thing to anticipate. So for instance, mine happened to be D4, but I was able to make that work. Okay. So think financially. Do not come to me and say, yeah. And I hear this all. It is funny when I see it online. Yeah, we be broke. Yes, it's funny. I do crack up too. But please don't be broke. I mean, you know what I mean? Like you got to still live your life. And so I don't think BTS wants us to go broke. Now, you might think if we're thinking in the grand scheme of Hive and companies, let's not go there. I just meant in general, they want us to enjoy, but you still have your real life. I shared this at my event. It's really important that what you do, like a tour in South Korea, to any other hobbies you have. Someone told me about the Super Bowl. By the way, I met somebody who went to the Super Bowl and they told me it was $10K, $10,000. I was like, wow, BTS kind of cheaper than that. As in some of the tickets, right? I mean, if you add them up, but I cracked them up because I was like, yeah, that's expensive. But again, what brings you joy? And if you're able to do it, do it. But you go to the Super Bowl, you go to concerts, but you also have your real life and your real life relationships. And if I see them floundering, or I see things online, or I see you say something, one thing, and then you not do it, and it's not healthy, I will call you out, especially if you're a client, you know. But if, or a friend, right, I'll be like, but you just told me that that's not what you want, but you're doing that. So really important to understand that we need to live our best lives thanks to BTS, thanks to South Korea tours, thanks to K-dramas, right? So when people also say to me, binging K-dramas, no, I don't endorse binging. If you're like sleep deprived the next day, right? And I've joked about it, going, I'm sleep deprived, but I can't keep doing that, and it does hamper my work. So I'm the first to admit that. So please know that there is a difference and there is a fine line. So if someone even says, is it even healthy? If the way I get, this is the nunchi in me, the way I gather that tone makes it sound like perhaps you're thinking it's not healthy. Does that make sense? Yeah. So you answered your own question. I always say you are the expert of you. Okay. How do I stop the PCD? Okay. Post-concert, let's just say PCG, post-concert grief, from being too low after such intense joy. But don't stop it. That's the key. You feel it. So I didn't sit there going, oh my gosh, I'm feeling low. How do I stop this? I think I'm feeling low. What can I do about it? That's the reframe. So if you're feeling anger, the actually very negative, difficult emotions, then I need to go, what can I do to get through this? What's going to help me? Not how can I stop feeling this way? In fact, if you try to do that, you do the very opposite impact, meaning you actually make it worse. You're actually going to go, I got to stop this. This doesn't make sense. In fact, if someone says, stop it, don't you hate that? Stop feeling depressed. That's not really helpful, but you can, whatever, they can say that. It's going to be hurtful, but then you go, well, I can't stop it. This is the way I'm feeling, but what can I do to make myself feel better? That's the questions you ask. And there's always something. It could be your concert bestie that went with you, right? I'll give you my examples. The best examples now is I love my tour WhatsApp groups. Some are more active than others, but I have, wait, how many tours have I done? Rashna, how many tours I've done? You can tell me how many tours I've done on chat. I think I've done 20 or 21. I'm on 20. Thank you. 20 chats. 20 chats. Sometimes I turn off notifications. Well, not lately, because I need that community. So I love seeing all these chats, and that's helping me. People going, oh my gosh, and uploading their videos. And some people have told me, but that makes me feel like FOMO. And I go, okay, then ask, instead of going, I feel FOMO, going, why do I feel the FOMO? It could be, answer that for me, please. Oh, I can only go to one concert. Someone said this. I can't afford to go to more. Okay, so you can answer that. Then if you can't go to more, don't get stuck there, because I understand that. Some people can only go to one or not any. That 100% empathize, really. But then what am I going to say to you if you were in front of me? I'd be like, but I'd like you to not stay there. What can you do to work through that FOMO? You know? And by the way, FOMO is real. You could feel it all the time. I feel it all the time. So I just navigate through my FOMO. Like, oh, I wish I was here. I wish I was with this tour person. I go through that as an extrovert. I want you to go through that as well. So realistically speaking, understand your financial situation. That was one of the other questions. If you can't afford it, but don't stay stuck. There's other ways. For instance, okay, do you guys know about StubHub? Yeah, you do, right? Well, apparently there's some good deals online. So I'm not saying, hey, this is what you do to go through your FOMO. Go on to StubHub and buy the. No, I'm not saying that per se. But I do know if you really feel like you could get another ticket and you have a budget, you could ask your community, friends. I did. I was just like, anybody have an extra ticket, right? That I can purchase? Find that first, and then people can direct you. You'd be surprised at this huge, massive army that understands what you're experiencing. I'm going to this particular question about being able to afford a ticket. Then there is Weverse Live coming up. They're going to live stream Busan. That's great. Try to get to a theater with other people. Organize something. Now, people say to me, but I'm an introvert. Hello, I live with one and I have I'm married to one. Most of my kids are introverts. You need to be proactive. Even extroverts need to be proactive about making friends or making things happen. Yes, introverts might just have to work harder, but if you want to have some semblance of being able to work through the FOMO and not be even sad all the time or unhappy or feeling like I'm not really enjoying this at all, and hearing people being happy about BTS, that's not really healthy in general, right? So then I want you to work through that and do something. You can tangibly do something. Think about like top 3 things. Like that's what I asked you. Top 3 things you can do. Oh, I can go to the cinema. Oh, you know what? I think I can live vicariously through this person. He or she is really good at describing it, and I feel better when I talk to them. I need you to think like that. Very specific. Let me take a second to go through all this. WhatsApp chats are the most amazing therapy and love. I have a hard time sleeping after concert. My health suffers the next day. Can you help us with this, please? Yeah, maybe overstimulation. Actually, I have a hard time sleeping after I give a workshop and a talk at 3 a.m. Korea time. So I know that I'm wired. It's the adrenaline. So you probably need a little more time to come down from that, right? And so I think it's okay that you have a hard time sleeping. Just don't stress. Give yourself maybe the next day a practicality of like, I'm not going to sleep much. So the next day I can't sit there working at 6 a.m. If you have no choice, then you go prepared that you're so overstimulated you can't sleep. That is totally, 100% also my experience. Anybody else? So give yourself time to wind down. I think the best thing for me and what I recommend is getting off social media, getting off the phone. Believe it or not, I'm not on social media much. So when people say to me, "Did you see this?" I said no. They send me these I don't know who this person is, but that is my self-control. So I just can't, right? I know my overstimulation. So even if you feel the loss of BTS, you know how much is going on with the social media? You can subside from that. Yes, you can. You actually don't need to click onto every reel or every video. You can mute it, or you can just move on or not be on that and watch something else, or actually get off your phone and decide you're going to spend time with this person who's not ARMY or doesn't know anything about K-pop because they were your friend, you know? And so that's going to help you. That's everything I'm giving you with sleep. By the way, you have to prioritize sleep. So if you go more than 1 or 2 days without sleep, I would say that is the number one thing. Turn everything off. I need you to focus because that anxiety is heightened. Okay, hold on. I got this here. Okay, so let's see here. It is strange that I'm feeling something akin to post-con, even though I haven't yet been to the 2 London shows yet. So, okay. I love that one. That's a little bit of the anxiety here of like the what if. We live in what ifs, but I really don't go there yet. Already know, I see a lot of people in this slump, but you'd be surprised. You're hearing a lot. We tend to hear the not so good stuff. Our brain goes to that too. But there's so many other good things. Actually, I know a lot of people that I've heard from that are like on a high from the concerts, right? So that's not said as much because what's being said is, oh my gosh, I can't go to Busan. There's a break. July, I think July is Europe. So the US folks are like, I can't be in Europe, right? So I don't want you to go too much to the post-concert slump. Just know that, I'm probably going to expect the post-concert slump because I'm so excited. However, the what is the concert it's not even here yet. Or the what is right now, I'm just so looking forward to it. Focus on that first because that is what you can control. And then you'd be surprised when you get there, there is preparation. For instance, Jeannie mentioned that I will feel depressed. Okay, it doesn't feel that bad. I think that's expected, right? For me, I'll be honest, I never expected that I'd have this total crash on this Tuesday in Vegas. I just kind of, I also crashed because I had to give a virtual workshop for like 4 hours at like early wee hours in the morning. So it was hard prepping for that. So I had a lot going on, but myself had to work through that. But I didn't go, what if? If you go in the what ifs, you ignore everything now. What if is living in the future we cannot control, and then your anxiety gets heightened. Oh, let me try to do this because I'm going to definitely do the post-concert slump, and then you end up doing things that don't make sense. So I would love you to go, the what is I can't wait. I have 2 London shows, which is awesome. Super excited. London's on my bucket list too. London, Hawaii. Would love to go there. It's super great that you can see them in London, and some people can't even see them, right? So focus on that. You get to see them in your home city. And that's what you look forward to, what freebies you're going to do, what time you're going to take off, whatever that is. And then you get there. Does that make sense? And so just know going into it, what it's like. There's a little bit of grief afterward. I say little bit because we don't know what that looks like for everybody. Okay. So hopefully I've been to rewatching the videos and photos from Vegas. I'm already dreaming of what to wear to LA concerts, making creative sign or 2. Oh yeah. Thank you for that. That's another thing. Okay. The other part of grief. It's not just BTS. Yes, I said it. Yes, they're a big part of Hello, Why We Gather, but it's really the entire experience. I mean, yes, I wanted to go to day 4 to see the show. I mean, that was the main thing, to see concert. That would probably be like, let's give it a percentage, 65%, right? 65, maybe 70%. But then the rest, like 25, 30%. Am I doing the math right? No, 35%. 35%, 30% is the experience, the fellow army in the audience, seeing other people with those signs. By the way, I decided I'm going to do a sign too. I thought, I'm not creative, what kind of sign, but I know exactly what's going to be on my sign. I shared with some of you guys. So I'm going to hold that sign up at my next concert. Yes. And it's going to be in Korean, by the way. Okay. So signs. I love reading the signs. People beating cancer, or people coming with their grandkids or bringing their kids. The entire concert experience is overwhelmingly wonderful and overstimulating. And for an introvert husband like mine, also a little bit draining, even though he loved it. He was with me at sound check. Yeah, at 105 degrees. But even he turned to me during the show and was like, yeah, this is kind of nice. I went, isn't it? Yeah, because we have like floor seats. I tell everybody this. I could count JK's moles. I was like, 1, 2, 3. I'm digressing, but I think it's really important to understand you are grieving the entire thing. That's so meaningful that you are like, who said this in London? Vera, anticipating going to these shows. That anticipation is huge. And then it's done. And then you're like, I have nothing to look forward to, right? We all say that even about my tours. We have something called PTSD on my tours. Okay, so I say this PTSD loosely, but it's kind of came up this way. Post-tour sentiment disruption, post-tour serotonin dip. I mean, there's several things, but I don't want to say depression. You could just be feeling depressed, but we have it post-tour because all that planning, packing, and anticipating, and then traveling, and then it's done. So I know the tour folks understand what that feels like. So that's what this feels like, an experience done until the next experience. By the way, the next experience doesn't have to be a BTS concert or K-pop concert. It could be an event you're going to plan. It could be something you do at work. Someone shared this recently. They did something at work that involved K-pop, and celebrating that at work where you spend a lot of time. Look for ways to work through that grief and build anticipation in a different way. So you can constantly have anticipation. In fact, that's why people plan vacations, to anticipate fun. So if you take a long stretch of work, that's hard, but please plan something so you have, oh my goodness, I'm working for the next 2 months overtime, but guess what? Come July, I'm going to London for BTS, or I'm going to do this. That anticipation, that hope is very good for your mental health. So let's see here. I pre-schedule meetup with my non-army friends after every BTS concert, as helps me be grounded and reconnect with my regular non-army life. Yes, but your army life should be part of your non-army life too. So even though you get that look of, I'm so used to that look. I think I started ignoring those looks, by the way. Like, why are you looking at me like that? They're like, so did you just say that you're a corporate speaker and you bring in K-pop and K-dramas in your work? I'm like, yeah, right. I just told you I have built a thick skin to be able to say that. Well, but I don't separate myself. So I think that's important. As you continue fangirling or you find that this is so rewarding to your well-being, why do you want to kind of squelch that? It makes sense to because you're in certain pockets of people looking at you in a certain way and you're tired of that. And actually, that's to my next question. But I really want you to find a way to not separate so much and just be like, here's my non-army friends, but they're still my friends and they knew me when, right? Have that same closeness, but they know this about you. And so I think if they're your close friends, they'll appreciate that. And some will even ask, so what's your favorite song from BTS? Maybe, and then you could play for them, but then maybe they'll never get there. And I think that's fine. There's many people in my life who actually don't even know I do tours. Do you know that? Though I can get a little irritated sometimes going, yeah, they go, where you been? I'm like, well, I've been in Korea doing tours. So I say it like that. They're like, oh, well, anyways. And I just, I just move on. So there are people who won't know that about your life, but I don't hide it. I just kind of say, yeah, well, I live there now because I do have a company and I do K-drama, K-pop tours, and I may look like that, but I don't separate that part of my life, right? But I also don't expect that they would go on every tour or be like, oh my goodness, I need to watch K-dramas. So I just have that expectation. I think you should too as well. And if they start getting, someone says here, they constantly, not berate, but if they're constantly being a certain way and they're not healthy for you, then you can cut them out, right? I say this a lot, actually. That sounds so, but I've done this before to people, like cut to my clients. You can cut them out. Yes, you can. In a system, you can figure out what works best for your boundaries. So if you're really tired of someone saying, here's one, another K-drama, how do you respond when people say another K-drama? You don't get sick of it? People are saying that less to me now. They'll say more like, wait, what do you do again? Even my own family. They'll say, yeah, we don't know exactly what you do. And then I just look at my husband, like that, like, that's a little irritating. But you know what? So I still get that as well. And then I explain. You can explain. Just when I say explain, I make it very clear. I don't want you to get defensive, though that's how you might feel, but just build through that defensiveness because the minute the defensiveness comes out, it's any attack. Basically, they won in getting you defensive because you're feeling like, wow, like, let me explain this and you need to know this. You explain things for you. I think I said this 1,000 and bazillion times. So I explain what I do because I want people to know what I do. And I don't care about the expression on their face, right? Including my family who doesn't get it. But again, I moved on. It can be irritating, but you're like, okay, Thanks, Jeannie. Hold on. Let me see. Thanks for saying this. I'm so anticipating seeing BTS in Baltimore. I'll be in Baltimore. It's my home base. It definitely gives me joy in the midst of chaos. Thanks, Jeannie. I have our reunion tour in September. Yes, you do. What's up, chat? I've been enjoying the Vegas show vicariously. Yeah, it's hard. Life is too short. I can say absolutely. The number one thing I hear, I'm going to say number one because I'm trying to think I think is the regret of not appreciating what's in your life. So I don't know, not taking a risk in your life, not doing more things that make you happy, working too much, not spending time with relationships. That is what I hear. Nobody comes to therapy or sessions and go, Jeannie, I'm so super cool. And like everybody's like, I'm happy with my relationship. I've never really, really heard that. They tend to have a regret or they want to work on something, including myself. So the regrets you have is what you wish you could have done more of, or the relationships you wish you spent time of. Here's what I say, you can work hard and harder, but you can also play hard and play harder. Just learn that balance, right? There's no one linear way of looking at it. Don't follow my lead, follow what works for you. This is what I say to clients. What works for you? My gosh, my English. BTS makes me happy. That's great. So you say that. I love this. You do joy. The concerts were so fun, but I know people who go to so many other concerts, Stray Kids, ATs. I've seen their joy and I love it. The Rose, right? Coming up. Everything. Enjoy that. K-drama watch parties. The K-dramas that watch you. Rewatching. I'm looking forward to a Goblin reunion. I love Goblin. So it's our self-care. Now, I was also blunt to some people. Some of what we enjoy can get criticized because it's not what I would say mainstream quite yet. I feel like it's going to get there, but people think of K-pop, even K-drama still. K-dramas have now a little bit of more headway, but even BTS, as global as they are, yes, people are like, oh, interesting. So how many concerts you're going to? Oh, this is another question. They're the same show. Someone said to me, you're going to the same show, like, right? Or have people said, aren't you're going to the same show like 5 times? Yeah. I have a great answer for that. So it is the same show, but not really. I'll give you the best example. I am a speaker. I speak and give, I would say a lot. I can't even count. I don't want to say hundreds, but so many workshops at this point of the same topic, sometimes my same exact flagship K-drama one, but I'll change up the clips. That's the most fun. Actually, that's the hardest. What clip am I going to show? And I try to show 3 to 4 clips in a workshop. But I am a speaker and I do it all the time. But even that same topic that I deliver is different each time. Why? It's based on the audience. Day 3, day 4, even though some people are going to all 4, there's still a different audience. You're also different. Like you might decide, oh, today I'm gonna, actually BTS says everything's coordinated. So for a speaker, for me, I'll be like, oh, wow, today the audience is flat. I will think this. Sometimes I think BTS might think of going, I wish the energy would be a little bit higher. So every show is unique and different, even if it's choreographed the same and the songs are the same. My topics are the same. Mental health and K-dramas, for instance, what I speak on the most. And then second one would be burnout and then mindfulness. I deliver pretty much the same content, mixing up some data, but I'm doing the same thing. But I will walk away after that hour and go, oh my gosh, like that was so hard, right? Even though I've done that workshop a bazillion times. Or, oh my gosh, that was the best workshop ever, even though that workshop I gave like 2 weeks before. Does that make sense? Because the audience is different. The people are different. You're technically even different as you go in because you're definitely impacted by who you speak to. So BTS or K-pop, any K-drama, anything, any concert, any show is unique, even if it's the same thing, because they're feeding off your energy. So that's why I do believe it's very important how the audience responds, right? I know this, and there are times I empathize with BTS or whoever's on stage. I'm like this. I'll even cringe for you if you're performing and you're speaking. I'll be like, because I totally relate. So I feed off the energy too. And I'll tell you this, if the energy is low, whether it's in Zoom or in person, and I feel it right away, I'm like, oh boy. And I have to literally amp up everything, my energy to match the non-energy. Get it? You work a lot less when the energy is full because it's just easy. So I answer one of those questions, going to the same concert. What do you say? Well, you could just say your own answer, but just say, Jeannie Chang says, no, every show is different and unique because the audience is different. And then the cities are different. I hope that helps. Okay. Let's see here. My sister, okay, hold on. I asked them what makes them happy and then make the connection. The girls and I made it on the Jumbotron with our poster D1 Vegas. That's so exciting. I love those posters. My sister said she'd go to Wishes. She had a passion like I do. Sorry, K-pop, K-drama, learning Korean. That's another thing. You do have a passion. Isn't that exciting? And yes, it's true. We get a little bit more criticized, or you get some of those our arching eyebrows. I'm so used to that. Yes, I get that a lot in what I do. And just again, build your thick skin. It'll build your resilience actually, but keep showing your resilience. Remember, think of the marketing factor I said. Present yourself as a marketer going, yes, I do really enjoy going to these concerts. Yeah, it does bring me joy. Thanks for noticing. You can be sarcastic. You can adopt some of my sarcasm. I'm actually very sarcastic in real life. Hello, I'm brand new to your content. I'm hoping to make it to one of your trips soon. Yay! And I like your handle, Joyful One. Balance is my word for 2026. Everything is in balance. So the only time sometimes, it never really happens when I'm in sessions or in workshops because you see me delivering my content. But there are times when I feel like people take me literally, and I'm like, do not take me so literally when I say something, because everything is unique to that person. So even when I get a question in a workshop going, Jeannie, what do I do about burnout? I give my blanket, right, statement and slides and presentation. But when I answer a person's personal thing, I always say, well, what helps you, right? And then work through that and then try to say, okay, that was a very personal question, but I'd like to answer it for the audience. So my thing is, what helps you, what your answer is. I hope you don't look to me Answer what makes sense to you. Going, well, you know what it does? Here's I saw this. It brought me into a more confident space where I didn't have that. And all of a sudden I loved who I was around Army or BTS. I read that and I thought that was beautiful. So you say that. People can't deny when they see your confidence in explaining your joy, not defending, explaining. I think especially as women, we get so caught up in our daily lives that we put off what to do, what makes us happy. Totally. 100%. They're all women on here because I'm partial to women. Hello, being one. I think so because we wear a lot of different hats. And I think that's the reality. Let's just be real. That is the reality, that some of what might bring us happiness and joy, and even if you're like a CEO, I'm talking about myself, you're dismissed, right? So I have to build my own thick skin of going, I see. I'm going to speak up and speak more. Even if I say it 100 times, I'm realizing I need to say things 100 times to be heard, but that's okay because I believe in my work. So I think we just continue to say that. The more you say it, guess what? The more it comes out like, but this is my joy. And then you'd be surprised. The more practice you get, practice makes progress, not perfect. Practice makes progress. It gets easier to say, yeah, thank you. I'm going to 2 concerts. That's all I can go to. I'm going to 22. I don't care. Whatever it is for you, you say it with the confidence, but please have that balance. Whose word was balance? Please don't come to me and say, yeah, so my relationships aren't doing well. Then we have a problem, right? Then it just went into unhealthy. Okay, hold on. Let's see. Oh, will this happen after each concert or just the last one? That really depends on you. I really believe it happened to me in Vegas because I was there. Again, I'm much better if I'm not there. I can kind of move past it and be like, well, I'm physically not there, right? So it was not the last concert for me. I have more coming up. But I think the last concert may feel a little bit, wow, it's the last world tour, but then we'll all be in that boat. And that's next year, right? So then there's more to look forward to. Always think that way. There are other things to look forward to. Let your concert going, K-culture, K-dramas, even learning about history, which some of you guys do. I'm so impressed. Learning about that, learning the language, let that be part of the parallel process. It is a parallel process. You're going through BTS and then you're also grieving, but then you're also working through that grieving and trying to do this. That makes sense? Nothing is like this. Nothing is linear. Everything is like this, like this, like this, but you can have this going at the same time. So that's the best way to describe it. It is a parallel process of very different things, dialectics. You're grieving, but you're also happy about XYZ. You're so angry, but you do love this. Work is so hard, but you love it. That's another example. Very easy example. That is life, right? That's life. That's another thing you're grieving, the outfits and the freebies, right? Then find, if you're done with the freebies and you're done with concerts, there's other ways to direct your energy and joy. I need you to think this way. Yeah, so it is not a one and done. My voice is so gone from the concert. I can imagine, I know who you are. All 3 shows in the same city felt different. Tampa and by D4 in Vegas was a whole other, indoors louder, their energy, everything's different. So that was the best example I can give you as a speaker, that I give the same content. Every talk is different. And by the way, and I believe BTS feel this, I feel nervous each time I speak. Each time, I don't care if I've done it 100 times in the same audience, I'm nervous each time. I say joy is resistance, and I have gained new friends at every show, and I've been very fortunate to attend. I'm also living my best 14-year-old girl at 50. Love it. So clearly, I can't. I thought that's at S. 50. Since I became Army, people say they don't understand it, but they say it's like I'm aging backwards. Yep. Keep swimming. I do love that. Because I do that analogy, as in you're building your muscle when you're swimming a lap, right? So you want to get to that other side, but you feel really good when you get to that lap. You're like, oh my gosh, I did it. I swam that lap, built some muscle. That's how I say we working through life, working through our struggles. Get to the lap. Don't get out of the pool and go the other side, which you could, but then you just avoided everything in between. So I love the keep swimming part and that visual too. And plus, I also think of the physical visual. You're building strength, stamina, resilience. What I'm missing after the concert is the people I got to hang out with during that time. That's the grief. I loved it too. I got to see tour people, even though I just saw you guys, by the way. Some people are like, oh yeah, I was just on Jeannie's most recent tour. Like, I don't care. Like, I was like, I still missed you guys, right? So I love that too. And I grieve that too. I'm thinking, how many more events can I do? I'm even thinking past BTS. What other events can I do where I could see people? Yeah. I love this different me and how freely I'm starting to show my love for K-John and BTS. This makes me so open. I feel so free. Yeah. By the way, it also helps to feel free because of the community too. So I hope as we're larger and louder, you should be loud about what you care about, what you believe in, then that is contagious. Also, anxiety is contagious. So when you're anxious, people feel that with around you too. So really important that we would have our joy contagious, our enthusiasm contagious. BTS, if you want to think like BTS does, it's contagious for them too when they're in that arena and they feel our energy and that helps them. So think about it that way, how you can help each other, how you want to be helped. You are feeding off people's energy. Well, then find that right energy. I divert is very important to pivot when you need to pivot. Did I answer all the questions? Some of them were repeats. Okay, this is a tough one. How to deal with the grief of not being able to secure BTS tickets. I have a practical answer and then a more clinical answer. The practical answer is, are you really not able to secure BTS tickets? This is not being sarcastic. This is because when people are like, how'd you get your last ticket? Well, I asked somebody who happened to have it. Not everybody's going to have freebie tickets or even give you a free ticket. But there are resources out there of people who might have overbought tickets, not scalping, but they went in, they got excited. And I believe that they're hard to come by, right? They sold out like that. That's hence the StubHub third party stuff. There are ways to get tickets. And if there's a way that you could find it in your budget, I believe so. It may not be the traditional Ticketmaster or, SeatGeek, which I think is Baltimore connected to, all those resources. It may not be that way, but it could be through a community. It could be through a Facebook page. By the way, it could be through me. So people come to me saying, Jeannie, I have 2 tickets or I have 5 tickets or whatever. I may have those tickets or something with somebody's cost who they want to give it to an army. I actually even had someone who had 2 sweet tickets for free and told me if you can find somebody within 24 hours, which I couldn't, by the way, she was going to give those sweet tickets for free. Yeah. So you can ask me too, because people are coming to me a lot with tickets that they may have. So I believe that's the practical angle. You might be able to buy it if you're able to have a budget and if you're okay with where you're sitting and you just want to be there. But the other clinical part would be if you're feeling and maybe there's other reasons, not financial, health and time or resources, and you cannot get there. I think it's totally a-okay to grieve and share that. But I don't want it to build into resentment. So you don't wallow. I really use that word a lot. Don't wallow. Feel sad. You are grieving. You can't go for XYZ reasons. And sometimes I don't ask those exact reasons, but that happens. Or you couldn't secure them. But then I need you to, if you have a community, then I need you to, and it shouldn't be if. You must have a community, not army only, just any community or support system. Turn to those people because they're your support system for a reason. Even if they don't quite get your need to go to BTS or any K culture or K content or South Korea tour or K pop concert, maybe they don't get that. Trust me, I'm around people who don't get it at all, even what I do. But then you find the support you need at that moment. You cannot sit there, and this is my challenge, and sit there and going, I'm grieving. I'm really upset. All these people are getting tickets. And I go, okay, yeah, I could see that. There are a lot of people getting tickets, but I need you to reframe your perspective. What are you doing? What can you do? What should you do? Or what have you been trying, right? Or who's been helping you? Have you asked for help? I think I'm getting easier for asking for help. And I think the more you ask, you'd be surprised. Actually, I don't even want to say you'd be surprised. If they're your support system, they should come through. It doesn't mean a free ticket. It doesn't mean tickets. It just means in a love and supportive way that can help you actually get to the ticket. Does that make sense? Maybe you're at your all-time low and you're like, I can't get tickets. But then somebody encourages and you're like, you're right. I could ask around. I could find somebody at work. Someone came to me and said they had 2 free sweet tickets. I was like, darn, I would take that, but I already had tickets, right? So, and then she's like, no, not you, Jeannie, somebody that really needs them, right? And I even asked actually one of my followers if they could go to that. So there are always people that might have a resource. That's what I believe. I hope that helps you. What about when you are asked, why are you watching 7 Young Asian Men? Oh, be like, I didn't even know this. I love their music. Their lyrics are beautiful. Do you know how talented they are? Wow, they've been Grammy nominated, they won AMAs. That's the kind of stuff you say. So that's people, if they ask that way, you might get defensive, but just quickly gloss over that because you're not going there going, yes, we fangirl, but you don't go, wow, 7 Asian men. No, you go there, wow, I love Jungkook, Hobie, right? I love their energy, what RM says. You're looking at them as individuals, as people, as they're talented, as they are. Say that to people and explain it. And some people have told me, yeah, but I'm so tired of it. I go, did you actually explain though? Do you know that people actually get tired before they even explain? Well, build that strength and be more apt to go, yeah. Oh, our 7 Asian. Oh, interesting. You said that. I see them as BTS. Yeah. And you know what? My favorite song is Magic Shop. And I love that the lyrics about it. Have you heard it? You should hear it. Spotify. I mean, you could be even joking going, oh, here's my Spotify, always use humor. I do. I'm like, oh, here, right here. Do you want to listen to it? Do you want my AirPods? So that's the laugh emoji, but I hope that helps you have a very specific answer. If you want to practice, please do. I practice my talks. You can practice your answers and it'll come out stronger and stronger. Practice in the camera, practice in the mirror. I know you guys are laughing, but you can say, you know what? I'm so sick of this question at the family gathering. I'm talking about myself. I'm going to say this. Yeah. So I do it myself. We are so lucky that K-pop artists have live stream or delayed concert playbacks on cinema screens through platforms like Weverse. Yes, indeed. Thank goodness for technology. Plus, Ticketmaster released production seats, which are held a few days before almost every show. Correct. There are, even I didn't know that. They're like, I go, oh my gosh, you got a ticket. They go, yeah, like this afternoon. See, there are ways. Again, know your resources, know your budget. Actually, especially with times like this, know your budget. Yes, very practical. Know what you can and cannot spend on. Know your limits. Someone told me decision fatigue. If you get to decision fatigue, then you stop making that decision. Like take a break, meaning, do I go? Do I not? Then don't go, right? Then leave for now. Leave it for now. That's what I would say. I don't know why I'm not watching this. Okay. Plus, if you can't make a concert, remember you get to see the concert at the movie theater. Yes. You get every single view and you avoid traffic, heat, crowds, etc. Silver lining. Yes, indeed. Indeed. I loved VIP Soundcheck, but let me tell you, it was like grueling heat. So I can attest, but yes, it's you avoid all that and you can get front row seats. And do you know some people have said to me, I can't really see them in the 400s, but I just want to be there. That's great too. So there's many different experiences. And by the way, some of those 400s, I heard someone told me they got it for $50. I'm just giving you the practicality because I ask, I'll be like, wait, you got a 400 ticket for like, did you say like how much or like 50? They're like $50. I'm like, So there are ways if you have that budget, if you can do $50, for example, or if you can find a resource. I'm keeping that handy there. You have a community, you have army, please turn to those people. My Hobie face gives away my inner, what did you just ask me? I love it. And you can upgrade your seats through Ticketmaster, so definitely check. I didn't know that. Well, good to know. See, I do things in the traditional way. And by the way, I'm going to say this. Here's a disclaimer. Concerts actually stress me out. Yes, they do. I don't go to a lot of them. I made my own goal with BTS, which is why I was so excited off tour to be able to do that. But when I'm on tour, I can't. And makes sense. But it's overwhelming. Even for me, I'm like, okay, which sign? I had to go Sunday. I was lucky to be in a suite with some tour peeps. Absolutely amazing. That like took half my budget, but it was worth it. And I remember I was like, where's the VIP entry? Where's the VIP entry? So it's overwhelming to find the entry. It's a lot of people. You're navigating in heat. That day was super hot. So I'm just sharing. It doesn't come easy. It's not like, hey, yay, we're at a concert. There's a lot to it, right? And so I think my point is the perspective is your own experience, what you want, make it a goal. You want to go to, I think someone told me their goal was to go to 4 cities and they kept at it. I thought that's a great goal. My goal, someone has said, I want to go to that. I just got to go to Seoul and I'm good. Great. So you can have goals with things you enjoy. right? And you can save up for that. Going to the Rose this Friday has helped my PCG from Vegas. Thank you for the PCG. I know I can't go to the Rose. Yeah, I love the Rose, and really sad about their news, but thank you. See, you're going in our place, and I hope you live, and I hope you have a wonderful time at the concert. They're phenomenal. I get that so much, especially about how these boys are teens and not women my age. I always say, by the way, the average age of folks on my tour, BTS specifically, age 54. Just got that right number. It's not 45. 54. You could be older, younger. So when people say, oh, fangirling for the young people, I guess I'm in a position where I'm like, actually, no, because I'm in a workshop and people will say that. Trust me, people say it all the time, but I can give facts. And that's based on my tour community, which is ever growing, or my own community. 54 average age, mic drop. Okay. So, yeah. And by the way, 54 years young. So you can feel young. And the younger, I mean, I know people who was sitting next to me, behind me, 76. I was like, I want to be like you when I grow up. Yes. I mean, gosh, if you're happy, your age doesn't show as in physical age. Your face shows happiness. So I see it all. I saw it specifically in Vegas. People had the energy that I was like, oh my gosh, look at your energy. They were like, well, I'm here. Your mental health is at stake, actually. Here's a little mic drop here. Your mental health is at stake. So we work hard. We've gone through life challenges. We should have our moments of happiness, whether that's a concert, a meetup, friends, events, dinner with somebody, or at home watching a K-drama, which people say that's their dose of happiness and relaxation at daytime and nighttime. Me too. That's actually literally how I unwind, right? Watching something at night. Most of the time it's a K-drama. Sometimes it's a variety show or BTS. But yes, so why do we need to defend that? Well, people will still make you defensive, but please just explain it. Explain away. What else? Am I missing anything? Okay. So I think I've gone through any questions. Any questions on your end? What I'm missing out there is people I got to hang with. Okay, hold on. I want to make sure I go through all 3 shows in the same city. Okay. So some of the key takeaways I want for you guys to remember, and I've already said it, but I'm going to sum up. To summarize, this is a tactic too. To summarize what I'm saying is that you need to figure out what to anticipate. So if you are done with BTS, for example, which is fine, what else can you anticipate to look forward to? Whether that's a vacation, whether that's a meetup, whether you're going to decide to make a new friend or follow up with a new friend. One thing through my tours, people are making new friends through their local areas. Really healthy. And then some of them have found BTS through that, right? Because they're like, I'm going to BTS. Oh, I want to go too. We have an innate human. You know what the innate human need is? What's an innate human need? I was going to answer for myself, but maybe you guys can. What is an innate human need? Why don't you ask? Somebody put it in the chat. What is an innate human need? Come on, someone get that. What's a word I use all the time? An innate human need. Even BTS has this need. Okay, I'm going to count to 3. Someone's got to get it. I talk about this concept all the time, and this is why we're here. Well, connection's close. Actually, that is the overall arching thing. The word I'm looking for is belongingness. That is an innate human need. Do you know more than, you have to survive on bread and water? Yes. Thank you. Belongingness. Yeah. And then I use the word tongue. That is innate. We all need it. And the most recent example, if you saw Namjoon's live, I'm laughing. I shouldn't laugh because it was a serious, but it was him trying to connect about what he was experiencing. And I'm not going to psychoanalyze it too much because I feel like it is what he said, right? He wanted to share perhaps what was bubbling, and then whatever triggered, whether it was the song triggered on day 3 that he decided to share. I think it helped him. So he wants to connect, whether it's live. I'm connecting on a live YouTube. People want to connect on a live Weverse, right? We need that for our mental health. So that is Chung is probably the emotional feeling, and belongingness is the actual concept. So that is an innate human need, period. So find it. Again, don't expect it to just drop into your lap. That's not really how it works. Sometimes it comes into your life unexpectedly, but you also have to kind of grab at it, right? Hold on to it, and make it a consistent part of your life. And it may not be always a BTS concert. It could be something surrounding that. So hopefully I answered that. PCG post PBCG post BTS concert grief is very much real, and it's going to be for a little bit until we anticipate the next thing. So why don't you put in the chat box, what are you next anticipating? Maybe it's Busan, but I'm next anticipating, and I think it's important for me to share this, a family milestone and going on a brief family vacation where I will see some tour peeps in Army. I'm just putting that in there, but where I'm going to celebrate a family milestone. So I'm looking forward to that. So that is something to look forward to. So that's an example. What are you looking forward to? What are you anticipating next? When I say next, I mean literally in the next few days. Not like, oh, like, yeah, in 2 months, I'm going to go see BTS. I would like something before that. At the end of the day, here's my final message. Here's how I'm going to end. You want to live your best life outside of BTS, outside of Army, outside of K-culture, outside of K-dramas, outside of tours. I also have to work hard at that. It's like I lose a sense of identity when I'm not on tour too. And then I kind of, recalibrate. So you must consistently recalibrate. It's an everyday thing. Building your resilience is every day. People think of resilience as this, resilience X factor. I need you to build it every day. So what are you doing? What's your mental health hygiene look like? Physical hygiene could be, taking a shower, taking care of yourself, exercising, eating right. But what's your mental health hygiene look like? So maybe tomorrow it looks like I'm going to minimize being on TikTok, whatever that is, and not go on TikTok for 5 hours. Whatever that looks like, be practical with it and think that way. Your mental health hygiene is something, what we mean by hygiene, an upkeep, a self-care, a cleaning, a strategic thing you must do every day. We don't think that way because we think of physical hygiene, but I need you to have mental health hygiene. Okay, first day going back to the gym. I'm going to my first concert in August. Yay, joyful one. I love your name. Meeting my family in Maine for vacation. I love Maine. My son's high school graduation. Yes, I remember you telling me about that. This is my son's college graduation. And then gracias, you're welcome, de nada. Oh, I'm looking forward to my weekends. That's why I do most of my self-care and relaxation. Yes. And I'm looking forward to my next binge. I think I'm going to binge this upcoming Saturday, something, training for a 10K. That's so cool. My trip in the fall with you. I'm so excited. Me too. And actually, let me talk about that. Our tours, we're going to launch 2027 soon. What is it? It's June 1st tomorrow. So at the end of the month or early July, you'll get all that. You pause. Forgot to mention this recommendation. Oh, yes. How is K Everything by Daniel Day Kim? So sorry. I totally forgot about that. I should actually support his work too. Our tours, though, I look forward to even my upcoming tours because I'm very grounded on those tours with you guys, even though I'm like, oh my gosh, how's the itinerary going? It's really important to me. Yes, there's the QR code to learn more about the tours. But if you're already on our mailing list and you are a tour alumnus, you will hear about 2027 first. That is the advantage you get. After that, it's free for all, but stay tuned. We're going to start doing updates in about the next few weeks. I'm so excited. Look at this, July 4th, grandkids, starting a new research project. I can't wait to hear about that. Looking forward to the 5K BTS run in Vancouver in June. Yes, you told me about that. You're volunteering. See, that's super cool. Can you keep sharing? What else? What else are you anticipating? So after June, I also have a 4th of July. I have a little bit of a break, but also think day to day. What are you anticipating after a long days of work? Oh, I'm going to binge and watch, what is it? Chesok's B&B. That's actually on my list. Or this cooking show or whatever that is, or rewatch the BTS concert. I have people going, I'm going through my videos. But here's another thing. If going through your videos makes you feel sad, don't do it. Take a little bit of a break. You have those videos, save them on a drive or whatever. and go back to them when you're ready. So it's the same thing as watching a K-drama. They're like, Jeannie, I can't watch it. I'm like, then don't watch it. So same thing. Can't rewatch stuff. In fact, it's hard for me to rewatch stuff because I am trying to focus and do the next thing or focus on my here and now, then keep looking back until I organize my photos. So when you're ready, do that. Go through your memories. By the way, it's so healthy to go through your photos when you're in that space of like, oh my goodness, this was such a good memory, right? BTS Oreos come out tomorrow. I know. I tried twice, once in Vegas, and my son tried. So yeah, it'd be fun. K, everything is a great way to share with friends and family why we love everything from K culture. Ooh, then that's a great reason for folks to watch. Then let's watch that. It's on Amazon Prime, I believe. Daniel Day Kim, and I think he also features We Are All Trying Here, the K-drama that I mentioned early on. So anything to help promote your love for BTS and K-pop and K-culture. K-pop Demon Hunters is another example. So you can use that. Even if that didn't turn them into ARMY, you could say, oh yeah, but this is an example of the music that I love, right? You can go in with your data points. You don't have to wait for me to do that. Crossing my fingers when it does reach 2027 BTS Encore in Korea. Yes, and there will be an encore. Dinner with my girlfriends in weeks. See, thank you. What are you looking forward to this week? Keep at it, and that's every day. Live your best life, your current life now. And that's just good for your well-being. Okay, I talked a lot. Thank you so much. Let me make sure everything's good. Yes, I'm so excited. Next YouTube live I'm going to do, stay tuned, will be on Reborn Rookie, and I'll get the director on live. So watch that too. Highly recommend it. And the second episode comes out, or it's already out on Viki here in the USA. Yeah, keep learning Korean language. I bought a new recipe book focusing on healthy cooking, trying for Arlington tickets. Yeah. The person who asked about not getting tickets, you can keep trying. And then I did talk to somebody who did tell me, but it's too stressful. Anything, you don't need a therapist to tell you. If it's stressful, you stop. Yes, you can stop. Even if it's BTS tickets. Yeah. Things are stressful for me too. So that when they're like, you can go on StubHub, I'm like, nah, not really. I'd rather someone tell me, hey, I have this ticket. Are you in or out? Does that make sense? But I'm recently going, yeah, you can look on StubHub and let me know what it looks like. That's just my own stressor, to look. It can be very stressful. Thanks. Great being with all of you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm so glad. I love you guys. I hope I was helpful. PBCG, post-BTS concert grief. Different, but you can feel depressed in your grief. By the way, there's cycles to grief. Remember, there could be denial, right? And then there's that anger. So, and I didn't really go into that so much with grief itself, but yes, you'll feel all the emotions, feel them, they're legit. And then you work through them. Do not stay with those emotions. I want you to be working towards your own happiness. Small pockets of happiness each day. Okay, I will see you soon. Stay tuned.